What's up, YouTube? Today I want to talk about the market we are experiencing right now in soccer, in my perspective, a bear market, and I would love to share with you a couple of tips that may can help you navigate this market. In the end, if you end up enjoying this video, look, for me it's quite important that you leave a like on the video. It's the best way to show support on the channel, to show support to all the time I put into making videos like this. So don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. I would also appreciate a comment. Let's move on into the disclaimer. Will be a short one, but a very important one. No financial advice. I'll always do your own research. No one can predict the market. Fundamentals are your best friend in the long run. And guess what? This market is a very good example of that. Keep in mind that I'm a collector first and the investor second. So I assess value, then I go for price. If you don't understand this basic idea, this basic concept, you still need to do a lot of research. Any card I will show on this video or any video I can eventually be buying or selling. On the description you can find a eBay affiliate link that supports the channel. Also a Patreon link, so any type of support, thank you so much for that. English is not the main language, any types of mispronunciations, I'm sorry, I'm trying my best. So let's move on into the first point, and this is something that could be the most important point in the video, being real. You should keep buying and selling even in a down market. What I mean with this, look, I know, everything you have in your collection is undervalued and makes no sense to sell it right now. Why in the world should I put my cards on the market right now when I know the market is down, when I know what I have is super, super undervalued? Look, the reality is actually more complex than that. Probably a lot of cards you have in your collection are correctly valued or maybe even overvalued right now. So we have confirmation bias for items that we own, and if you don't sell, if you don't experience being a seller on the market, you have a very biased opinion. If you sell a lot, you start to understand the market much better. Look, another thing, a lot of collectors, they just buy and buy. And for me, this is an insane, huge mistake. And look, I also buy more than I sell. But for me, it's very important to keep selling in this market or any market because the cash flow keeps me more engaged with the market. Let's say you start selling right now. You start to understand liquidity because a lot of people they think cars are very liquid. That's not the case at all. And if you send a car to auction, yeah, most likely will sell it. You will sell the card, but the money you are expecting potentially will be way less than than what you have in mind right now. I'm being real with you guys because I honestly think a lot of people do not talk about this, but understanding liquidity is essential. You start to understand the psychology of the market, what other people want versus what you want. Because look, again, if you look at your collection, if you bought certain cards, most likely is because you believe in the cards, right? So your collection most likely will be a reflection of yourself. Will be will if I look at your collection, I will understand why you are approaching the market this way. But guess what you believe versus what the market believe could be two different things. That's why I'm saying this. If you keep selling and buying, you start understanding the psychology of the market much better. You start understanding what you like versus what other people like. And if your approach is just making money, and that's a big if, of course, you should be on the side of what other people want, not what you want. Again, this is real talk. I'm being very real with you guys. I know this is something that maybe you guys do not like um, to hear or something like that. But again, I think it's important to put this out there. And if your undervalued cards, and there is a scenario, you have a lot of undervalued cards, are selling low right now, most likely other amazing cards, other undervalued cards will also be selling low right now. I like to consolidate my collection and I like to consolidate my collection, I would say all the time, and bear markets are very good for that. So again, can I tell you this is the low of the low? No. Can I tell you markets will crash even more and more and more? I also do not know that. No one can predict the market. And again, if you go to YouTube, there's a lot of people trying to predict the market right now. I'm not trying to do that. What I'm trying to say is if you are selling in a down market, you are also buying in a down market. And bear markets, they are very good, in my experience, to consolidate into bigger things. Then again, look, even selling at loss, there is nothing wrong with that, especially if you have a plan to the money you get from those cards and put in something that you believe more for the long run. So keep buying, keep selling. Very important for me. Do not go into this route that you just buy, or basically you don't know, or basically, I'm sorry, you do not do anything in this market. We are facing a correction. I think it's important to buy. But like I was saying, I also think it's important to keep selling. Let's move on into the second tip, but I actually need to share with you a couple of things before I go into that. Please don't skip this. I think this is quite important. If you like my content on YouTube, if you like this type of content, I think joining my Patreon can make a lot of sense. I believe it's around $10 and you get exclusive content every week there. I tend to put, I put all the time a new Q&A on Wednesday and I put the extra audio, you can call it a podcast, on Saturday. The Q&A basically is me answering questions related to the market from all of my Patreon members. In the last couple of months, ended up answering more than 300 questions, so there is a lot of content on my Patreon if you want to join my Patreon right now. The last Q&A was the Q&A 51, and I ended up talking about the research, how to research and study the soccer card market. I ended up talking about Cristiano Ronaldo cards from 2003, the importance of certain cards, fractional companies, and up sharing my perspective on that, and talking about the bear market. It's actually a similar topic to this video, being honest. So check the link on the description. I think, again, if you like my content on YouTube, probably joining my Patreon can make a lot of sense. Like I said, it's $10. But let's say $10 is a lot of money. I understand that. Also, one thing that is totally free is to join my Discord. If you want to learn more about the soccer card market, joining my Discord is something that I would recommend. There is a lot of great collectors in my Discord. You can interact with me on my Discord. And again, it's an amazing place to share and to learn. So I will also leave the link below the video. We are more than 500 members and we are growing very fast. So check both links on the description. Moving on, and this is my second tip, keep studying the market. What I mean with this, look, okay, let's say right now you cannot spend cash, money is tight. I understand that. Look, life is complex. And if we are seeing a downtrend in Wall Street, if you are seeing a downtrend in the crypto market, maybe your investment is not doing that great. Maybe cards are something. Look, right now I cannot mess with that. I would even give a preference to put money into stocks, into blue chip stocks. Look, I actually think that's very smart. So I understand that if you cannot put money right now in cards, there is nothing wrong with that. Okay, that's fine. Cards by nature, and I know people do not like to hear this type of stuff, but cards by nature are a super speculative asset, and only extra money, or even better saying, money that you do not need in your life, so should be put into cards. Look, if the money you have into cards affects your personal life, or is money that you need to potentially I don't know, to potentially pay bills or something like that, you should not be investing in the soccer card market, or in my perspective, in any card market. But I'm talking about soccer because that's what I know, okay? So, cards are a super speculative asset. Only put extra money that you do not need. Look, I have a big collection. Of course, I'm putting a lot of money into the soccer card market. But this again, real talk. If all my cards go to zero, I will not be happy. I know I'm repeating myself on this, but I will not be happy. I will be probably very depressed, being real. But the reality is, my life, my daily life, my bills, my everything I have to pay at the end of the month will stay in a controlled way, if that makes sense. So I'll always keep that in mind. Again, I'm sorry to losing a little bit of focus, but again, even if you cannot buy now, you probably still love the market, because again, let's go back to this idea. Look, right now, I may go more into the stock market because I actually feel makes more sense to buy the dip. That's fine. But guess what? If you love the soccer card market, you still want to be engaged with the soccer card market, right? Your passion does not go away just because we are facing a correction or facing a bear market. Again, some people they go away, but the reality is they never end up loving the soccer card market. But I know a lot of you guys that watch my videos understand that we are facing a correction, but we still have passion for the soccer card market. So you can still be engaged with the soccer card market. And I have a lot of good news right now for you. If that's your case, you can still be engaged with the soccer card market. Learning and studying the market is free. This is amazing news. Look, again, maybe buying right now is not an option for me. Guess what? Keep grinding the market. Grinding the market is not buying and selling, it's also learning, it's also becoming an expert. I get a lot of questions actually on Patreon related with this. If I'm starting right now, if I have 10k, what should I do? Crazy stuff like this, being real. Look, my perspective and no financial advice. You need to start in a niche and then expand. When I end up entering the soccer card market years ago, what I did was honestly quite simple. I was buying Cristiano Ronaldo rookies and Messi rookies, but even more Messi rookies. And I ended up learning everything about the Messi market, about the Messi rookie material, if that makes sense. Then I started expanded into what? Well, second year cards, Argentina cards. Then I was like, you know what? Now that I have this knowledge, I can look into Sergio Ramos rookies, Iniesta rookies, because the lineage will be similar with Mundichrome, Megacracks, Este, etc. Then what I did, I expanded even more. I started looking at what? Vintage, pre-modern in France, pre-modern in Portugal, and things keep going. But if you just enter the market and you want, look, I want to buy this card, that card, that card, trying to target a lot of markets, again, you can be successful even that way, because I personally think soccer is extremely undervalued in vintage, in pre-modern, and even ultra-modern. I think soccer is undervalued. But the reality is, if you become an expert, if you grind a market, you start to have an advantage against the market, if that makes sense. So learning, studying is free. Please do not stop that, even if you are not buying right now or selling right now. I think you should be buying and selling, but again, let's say you can't. Keep grinding the market, keep learning, keep studying the market. Again, sure, maybe you cannot buy, but when you can buy, you better be prepared for that. Okay, right now you are not buying, but guess what? That's a temporary thing, I would say. Maybe 1 year from now, maybe 2 months from now, you'll go in and you'll go and say, now I want to buy a Cristiano Ronaldo card. But do you understand the Cristiano Ronaldo market? Are you prepared to invest money into the Cristiano Ronaldo market, or you'll go to eBay and put Cristiano Ronaldo rookie and buy the cheapest one there and potentially even get a fake? Again, guys, this is real talk. You need to be prepared for when you can enter the market again, when you can start spending again. Knowledge will give you a tremendous advantage on the market. Look, education. This is a quote that I personally agree quite a lot. Education is the solution for everything. If you have a problem in your life, look, learn more, educate educate yourself in that problem. By the way, guys, today my English I think is not great. I'm sorry for that. I'm trying my best, but try to educate yourself. Again, investing in education, I think, and does not matter if you are investing in the crypto market, in the stock market, real estate, does not matter. Educate on that and then approach the market. So, and soccer, and this is, in my perspective, again, this is even more important for the soccer card market. The soccer card market is a very particular case. We are a giant and explored market. Guys, to have an idea, there is new rookies appearing every day maybe not every day, but very frequently on the market. Look, I was on my Discord and one of my members ended up sharing this Benzema card, and I was like, wait, what is that? This card is actually from the season 2006-2007. This was made by Panini, but was given at McDonald's in France. How crazy is that? I believe my viewer ended up paying $1 or $2 or something like that. This is actually a rookie for Benzema. And guess what? Could be the most difficult rookie to find for Benzema. To be fair, I believe my viewer ended up getting lucky with the buy. But this should put in perspective that if you grind, even in a mainstream player like Benzema, there is still new things to be discovered. There is still new things to be explored. This is just an example. Okay, if you go to the Cristiano Ronaldo market, rookies are out, but second year cards, third year cards, for sure there is certain things that the market is not appreciating right now. For sure, if you put time in the market, things will play out in the long run. Benzema, just an example. Moving on, and this is my final advice, and this will be basically a combination of all the other two. Focus. The market is down. Yes, again, certain cars are still doing well. Certain cars in vintage are still doing well. Certain cars in pre-modern are still doing well. In the macro perspective, I think it's fair to say that the market is down. But guess what? I still see a lot of great fundamentals on the soccer card market. And you guys know me. I collect Magic the Gathering. I collect Yu-Gi-Oh! I collect Star Wars. I collect Marvel. I collect non-sports cards. I'm not even talking about TCGs right now. Collect Middle Earth. All of those markets, I believe in them. Guess what? The best market for me is still the soccer card market. And again, I have more money investing into the soccer card market than the other markets. But is not because of that being real. Actually, the reason made me investing more into the soccer card market. But the reality is, Magic the Gathering, great fundamentals, is a historic TCG. Will be, I believe a lot in the reserved list. I believe a lot in alpha and beta cards. But I actually believe soccer at this point in time, maybe 1 year from now will be different, is even a better market. Is way less explored. Because again, actually, let's go back into the education part, into the keep studying the market. If you try to enter the Magic the Gathering market, and if this is boring for you guys, you can skip it. But the reality is, that market have a lot of people already, have a lot of knowledge people there. If you try to grind the alpha Magic the Gathering market, the first set ever for Magic the Gathering, that's not easy at all. The market is very explored, if that makes sense. Not saying those cars will not go up in the long run, because I personally believe they will go up. But it's very difficult to find a niche, to find an advantage on that particular set. In soccer, you can find, even in crazy sets like Felipe Apologet, Mega Cracks 2004, there is still a lot of opportunities. That's why I believe the soccer card market is one of the best markets right now to be in. Do I have confirmation bias? Yes. Goes to the basic old logic. Prices are different right now, but the value on a lot of key cards is still the same. I probably even believe more in them. If you tell me Cristiano Ronaldo rookies, I still believe a lot in them. I'm being real. I still think they are very low pop. Zinedine Zidane rookies, I believe a lot in. There is honestly only one rookie, but I still believe a lot in that card. And guess what? I'm actually selling that card right now. Why? Because I'm trying to buy a better grade. That's why this goes back into what I was saying at the beginning. Keep buying and selling. Okay, you are selling a great card right now, but maybe another great card is also down. So please be aware of this type of stuff. Reality check right now. A lot of people just come to the market when we are booming, when we are doing very well, when Messi cards are going to the moon, Pelé is the best thing in the world. Of course, you do not need to be a genius or even a smart person to understand how wrong that was. If you are entering a market that is at the top of the top, even if it's soccer, you need to be extra careful. And again, I know everyone is making money in other alternative markets. Could be F1, could be Marvel, could be Star Wars. guess what? I'm also into the Star Wars Marvel, and I know the Star Wars market is exploding. I know the Marvel market is exploding. I know F1 is doing very well. Well, soccer is not. And I understand if you feel like that you are missing out. Well, maybe you are. Or maybe, just maybe, you will be entering those specific markets when they are at all-time highs and with a potentially strong correction coming. And then you will go in the same path again, saying, wait, what? I paid 10K for this card, I paid 1K for this card, now it's $500. What went wrong? Well, the market was very inflated and you end up buying into that. That's the problem. I mean, the things are actually quite easy to understand. The soccer card market is down and the F1 market, I believe, is doing very well. There is more people entering the F1 market than there is entering the soccer card market. You guys really believe that makes sense? I'm sorry. I do not see it that way. I think actually leaving the F1 market and potentially entering later into the F1 market, if you like the F1 market, makes sense. And buying into a market that is facing a huge correction, that's how I love to invest. Look, value investing is that. It's trying to find logic where people is very irrational. And I think right now people are being irrational about the soccer card market. So I'm trying to find logic. I'm trying to invest even more. In the end, I collect soccer because I love soccer. Don't feel I'm attacking F1 or Marvel or something like that. If you love F1, for sure there is still great opportunity there. For sure maybe vintage is still unexplored. I don't know anything about F1. If you are really trying to play the long game, you need to be okay with bumps and downs on the soccer card market. Time in the market is what most people need. Again, this is real talk. A lot of people are seeing the first correction ever in the soccer card market and they are in panic mode. They are going, you know what, maybe end up over leveraging, if that makes sense, into the soccer card market. Maybe I need to go to F1 because that's actually the sport that Americans love. Of course it's not, by the way, but you guys probably get what I'm trying to say. If you put time in the market, that will give you a crazy advantage over time, because time in the market is, again, understanding the psychology of the market, understanding cycles in the market, being more educated in the market, because education comes with time. That will give you a crazy advantage on the market. Stay focused. Conclusion: collect things you love, price what you pay, value is what you get. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope I was clear on the way I end up explaining my ideas. Again, these type of topics, they are a little bit negative in the sense that people do not like to talk about this type of stuff. But I think it's important to be a positive voice right now. I think it's important to share, again, to share my beliefs, to share what I think the soccer card market is doing right now and why we are still a great market. Have a nice day. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.